Hey y'all.
This is Simone.
No.
I came it out. What up, world?
Hey y'all.
This is Simone.
This is Sarita.
And this is Clean Ears. So today, we are actually indulging one lucky listener. Although we know that this question is on the hearts and minds of everyone.
Apparently, y'all just want to know more about us.
So the question that we got was, how did we get into CHH?
Who are our favorite artists right now?
And why?
And why?
Yes. How we got into CHH, for me, it was a dark and stormy night.
Here we go.
A young Simone sauntered into, I'm just kidding. I was fully in my cubicle at work one day and I was like, listen, if I was getting just more and more convicted by all of the raps that I listen to, because guys, listen, I like to listen to music about just violence and drugs. That is my happy place. You are rapping about dope and things that I don't even understand, lines and things, steps on things, whatever. I don't know anything about that, baking things, ingredients and such. I don't know anything about it, but I love it. Mm-hmm. And so I think after a while, growing closer to God, I was getting really convicted listening to all of these drug rhymes. And I was really just like, I would try to look for something else. I'm like, well, I don't have anything else. So can you imagine just listening to just somebody just cooking coke and all of a sudden you immediately just switch to a sermon because you're like, I have no middle.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, God, if you want me to clean up my music, you got to give me some things. And so everybody would just be like, listen to Lecrae. And I've talked about this before on previous podcasts where I'm like, you can't give me one artist for a catalog and lifetime of songs. That's not how life works. And so I just would start Googling and finding things. And when I started to find things I liked, I was like, maybe I can stay here.
For me, how did this happen?
Well, when Sarita invented CHH, she decided.
Not at all. But I started hearing about Christian hip hop artists when I was listening to gospel music. Because I used to listen to like younger gospel music, like Kirk Franklin and, you know, really him and artists he used to work with, and like other choir songs. Because it was really it. And like Ty Tribbett when he started to come out, and Tone when, you know, he was allowed to listen to him and things like that. So I was listening to a lot of younger Christian artists, and there would be like the chance arrival of some rapper that wasn't like a secular rapper who went Christian, but like a Christian rapper, like The Truth and something like that. And I'd be like, who is that? And how can I find more of their music? But this is, y'all, we're old. This is pre-Twitter. This is like pre-Instagram. Like the Googles really weren't, they gave us a page and there wasn't a lot for you to figure out. So
she connected to the internet via DSL.
Right. We really had to dial up in this piece, and I had to start figuring out who these people were who were featured on tracks. And so I was listening to like early CHH, and it really wasn't what I wanted to hear at the time. So I just kept like a look at though, because it was a little bit too rough for me. A lot of like early CHH was like demo beats and real.
It's very like rough.
It's real rough. And I was especially coming from like a secular place where it was at that point in hip hop, it's a little bit more refined. Like they had gotten a lot of those kinks out, and it wasn't. I'm just saying in secular hip hop, they were a good 15 years ahead, because
I agree. I'm just like,
it's not like 70s hip hop anymore. It wasn't a hip hop, hippity hop. It was, you know,
oh my gosh,
you know, a lot more refined. So I was like, let me just see what you're doing, pop my head in and out. And so if y'all were to even look at like my old CD collection, you see a lot of like ripped CDs of artists where you're like, okay, let me just, you know, hop in and see what's going on. That sounds good. I like a couple of these tracks. I see what's going on. Once I got out of college and I moved back to Atlanta, and I moved to
yeah, I was about to
Atlanta.
Say, wait,
moved to Atlanta, and then rededicated. I was like, okay, so everybody's cleaning up their music. Everybody's throwing away their CDs. I throw away my CD, most of my CDs. Yo, some of those are classics, and you can't get them
You're
again.
not just giving those, like, you're not
Whitney, Old Brandy. There were some things I was like, I'm gonna be all right if I keep these.
If you got any Aaliyah CDs, because they're not streaming any of that, you
Nope,
can keep those.
I have those. So there were things that I kept, but most of it, especially my rap, I had to let go. I was same as Simone. I like explicit lyrics as well. I want to hear it the way that you put it out in the world. All the curse words. Give it to me just the way you gave it to me. Exactly. Especially coming from college when you're like, you started listening to a lot of stuff and you're like, hey, all of it. Everything I could hear. So I got rid of a lot of music and wanted to get back into CHH. And again, at least we had good Googles now, because it was still hard to find.
Yeah.
But I started to listen to it. And once I found some artists that I started to like, I started to put other people on. And like really it was one of those things of friends would be like, Sreetha, you listen to Christian hip-hop music? Make me a CD. Literally. And I would be burning CDs for friends.
Okay, Pusha C. She got slanging the gospel.
Slanging the gospel for all the people. Because otherwise it really was just, especially the church we went to, was a lot of contemporary Christian.
Yeah.
Which is good for certain times. But if I'm not in full worship and I'm just trying to get to work, what am I going to listen to? And so it got to that point, and that's how I really got into a lot of CHH.
And then it got to the point for me, like when I started to find so many artists that I love. Because at first it was like one and you play that album out, and then one and you play that album out. You mess around and find something where somebody worked with someone and you're like, yes, I found two people. And so after a while, I would get to a point where I would like, man, I don't think I've listened to something secular this week.
Mm-hmm.
Then it'll be like, man, I don't think I've listened to anything secular in a month. So it kind of just started to build. And then when you try to go back and you're listening to music that's really talking about stuff and edifying you, and then you try to go back to just listen to drugs and cars and drugs, then it's like
women.
Then it's like, this isn't really
right
doing it for me anymore.
Right.
And so then I was like, well, since we're over here, then let me just try to find more and more stuff. And then, you know, you just keep on Googling. Thankfully, when I switched over, Twitter was definitely a thing.
It's so helpful.
So helpful. And so I was able to find out a lot of people that way.
Okay, so you guys wanted to know our favorite Christian hip hop artists. It's hard for me. If you guys know me, I don't like picking favorite anything outside of color. And I don't like trying to pick a favorite artist, because for me, it really is who I like at the time, who's had like most recent releases that really have affected me, and maybe we could go back to for like a bot, but not like when this person drops, I always gotta get it.
Yeah, I love so many people, so it's hard. If I've been heavy on Anita Baker, I could love Brandy and be listening to something new and current and right now. Mm-hmm. But I'd be like, but I want to talk about Anita when you ask me.
Right.
And so it's like, it's the same. It's like, it's what I'm probably the most on.
Right. So I guess right now who I'm most on is Swoope.
Yes.
Taelor Gray. Mm-hmm. I love it. Sean C. Johnson. If you know, this is my aesthetic. I'm getting the vibe right now. Jackie Hill Perry. Her latest album, guys. Crescendo is everything. It's really, really good. Who else? Nobigdyl. Someone who I'm really following right now. I liked Whatup RG's latest. That was good. Oh gosh, so many.
I know. I'm all on Sreetha's coast. I'm like Beleaf, Ruslan. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's again, I wouldn't say favorites, but there are a lot of people that I really like, and when they do something, I'm just completely standing for it. And I would say those, like when any of the people listed, and some others too.
Right. Andy Mineo, of course.
Still, there's still
Trip Lee. Yes. Don't sleep.
Yes.
On nobody's Trip Lee.
It's like, for any of these, when they put something out, I'm like, oh no, I'm gonna clear some time and I'm gonna sit down with this. One person that I love right now that's current, not an OG, but well, as far as I know, you know, he's had some longevity though, is Armond Wakeup. I love his music, and we've talked about him a lot on the show.
Tragic Hero.
Yes.
R. Swift.
Yes. Old John Givez.
I still like New John Givez.
I do, but you know, for
JGivens, he still.
Oh yes,
he still works.
Raps Christopher Nolan.
Yes.
Pistol emoji. Ow. And so I don't think they're favorites. I think they're just a lot of people who are very excellent, very talented, and I just love what they do, and I'm rocking with whatever they put out.
And I think the reason why we like these artists is that they've really found a great lane. Like, we hear them artistically moving in great places, things that we can follow. We love the growth that they've had. We love the stories that they tell. We love the honesty that they have. It's just been good music. I mean, it really is one of those things of like, they've produced great art, and we love great art.
Exactly, and everyone is so different from the next. I love that. And it's funny, as many times as you've seen this person work with this person, work with this person, there's so many collaborations and joint projects and things mixed and mingled all in there, but they're still just so unique in what they do. And yeah, very, very talented, great storytellers for different things, you know, just so many different vibes and moods and things in there. And yeah, I love all of them.
Love it. We hope that we answered your question, and we'd love to hear from you guys. Like, who are you listening to? Literally, put some of your favorite CHH artists in the comments below. Like, you may have somebody we haven't heard of. We'd love to be stumped and hear some new music. Like, and if we really love it, it might end up in our headphones. You guys never know. And you know, we always make a new playlist. We'd love to hear from you of what you're listening to and add that to our playlist as well.
Absolutely, and share your CHH story. If you're somebody who's been listening to CHH for a long time too, let us know how you got into it. What got you over here? Let's swap stories in this thing.
Let us know if cleaners got you on CHH. That would be amazing. So, like this video, subscribe, share. What else do they do? Follow us on all of our socials. Become a patron on Patreon.
Subscribe to the podcast. Read the blog.
All right.
Listen to the playlist. Live your life. Make it a lifestyle.
Be an earbud. Go all in.
Yes. So guys, until next time.
Have a good time.
Bye.